Let's discuss this further now with Scott Mills. He's the spokesperson for the Ontario Provincial Police Association. He joins us from Hamilton tonight, and folks in Toronto might remember him because he was also a spokesperson for the Toronto Police Service at one point. Scott, let's start with your reaction to the numbers. You know, there have been more than 700 documented police use of force deaths in Canada since the year 2000. What do you think about those numbers?
Well, when you first look at it, it is quite shocking, but it's also been quite shocking in the past 6 months where we've had 5 police officers that have been killed in the line of duty, and all 5 have been ambushed without even a chance to defend themselves. So I think you have to put it into context. My initial shock wore off when I started digging deeper into the report, but numbers like that and data is always very helpful, and I don't think anybody can ignore it, and I think it needs to be put to good use.
You said put into context. So what's the context here that we should be talking about then when we're looking at these numbers, Scott?
Well, I think you're looking at police don't go to work every day with the intent on getting into a violent confrontation or shooting or killing somebody. It's extremely traumatic for all involved. They're all tragedies. And the reality is the police are getting called into these situations by people that are scared, and people are acting very dangerously, and they are volatile situations. And I think you have to look at the context of the individual cases. Mm-hmm. The vast majority of these cases, police officers are investigated by independent investigation agencies, and they're cleared and they're found to have acted lawfully in their duties.
What do you think about the data that also shows Black and Indigenous people accounted for 27% of those use of force, a higher percentage than in the actual population? What do you think about those numbers, Scott?
Oh, always concerning. We definitely need to address these issues, and that needs to be looked at in context as well. Marginalized communities, if you they need more services, they need more jobs. The mental health, the acuity of the situations, and the severity of the situations that they're dealing with addictions and things like that in some of these remote communities especially, there are a lot of interventions that need to be done, and that's not just on the police.
I was going to say that have nothing to do with police work is what you're saying. I mean, when we look at the numbers, it seems like things are getting worse, which is worrying. Why do you think that 2022 saw the highest number of deaths on record? Is it because of new mental health issues coming out of COVID? What's going on out there, Scott, from your perspective, do you think? Why is it getting worse?
From my perspective, I think it's the COVID period. People are extremely stressed. There are a lot of socioeconomic issues happening right now. People are financially stressed.
Yes.
And these issues have been exacerbated. There's also staffing shortages in policing. There's staffing shortages in healthcare. There's staffing shortages in business everywhere. And that's all adding to the stress of people, which inevitably leads to confrontations and police getting called and the statistics going higher.
Let me ask you what these stats don't tell us. Is there anything missing from these stats? What don't they tell us?
Like I said, I think they don't say that the vast majority of those interactions, the police officers were independently found to be acting lawfully. And, I fear that somebody looking at this at first glance without the insight of law enforcement working alongside with them aren't, the shocking part of the numbers, the reality of the situations aren't being conveyed in a full picture.
Okay.
And that's not to say that this needs to be ignored at all, Dwight.
No, well, that's why we have you on to try to provide some context. So we do appreciate your time. Let's finish with this. What do you think could be done to ensure 2023 isn't another record year for police use of force deaths? Because as you said, neither side wants this to happen, Scott. So what could we all do together to help it?
That's a very complicated question, Dwight. Many things need to happen.
Too many to
We
finish
need
talking
to,
about tonight?
yeah, we need to address, homelessness. We need to address the increase in mental health issues. We need to address staffing issues at all levels, including policing. And, we have to work collaboratively. I think that's the main message that needs to get out there from this report. And let's talk.
Scott, thank you. That was Scott Mills. He is a spokesperson for the Ontario Provincial Police, and he joined us from Hamilton, Ontario tonight. Thank you, Scott.
That's the association, not the Ontario Provincial Police, Dwight.
Sorry, the Ontario Provincial Police Association. I appreciate the correction, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dwight. Appreciate your time.